One thing I seen the other day, it was saying that if alcohol was invented now, like nowadays in recent years, that would be a banned substance. It wouldn't be legal. What do you
I could
think?
see it being a banned substance, yeah. If it was only invented now, along the lines of there's a lot of it's all right. Just for the sake of argument, we'll lump alcohol in here as a drug, yeah. Is that okay with you?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. So we'll lump alcohol in as a drug, right? So if we look at it in comparison to drugs that are already illegal, or some drugs that are already illegal, the likes of cannabis, alcohol is actually a lot more damaging to your body than cannabis is.
that's
So
where
if
they're
we were to
coming
base it
from.
solely off that, yeah, exactly. If you were to base it solely off damage done, then for a fact, I think it would be. The reason that alcohol, in my eyes, is legal and say other drugs that you can consider, like say recreational drugs, wouldn't be legal, is because the profit isn't there and the infrastructure isn't already set up for them. So, in terms of it'd be very, if alcohol was only say recently invented now, say for example, if beer was only recently and it was Budweiser that made it, or whoever originally made Budweiser. I don't know who the fuck they are. We'll call him Alfred Budweiser, right? So Alfred Bud for short, right? So Alfred Bud makes it randomly in his kitchen or in his bath one day or wherever you make
It's
alcohol.
bad.
Yeah, who knows? It could be one of them backwoods fuckers that's there mixing it. You know what I mean? So
Bathing in
maybe
it.
they're making it in the. Yeah, there we go. Maybe he's brewing it, man. He's churning that shit. Yeah.
That's why it
So
tastes like shit. It's his sweat.
exactly, Budweiser, the bleeding
I
dirt.
started off drinking it.
Anyway,
I don't know how, but
one of my mates still drinks them, and the smell off the points.
nah.
Dirty oaks they are. But sorry, I'm just getting a bit sidetracked there. So if you look at the way Budweiser are set up now, or Heineken or Tiger or fucking Diageo, right? They're set up that they already have the distilleries, everything's made. There's loads of jobs being created from it, and they've shown that we can create jobs and we'll put things on it to like drink alcohol responsibly, all things like that. Where if it was a brand new product, the infrastructure isn't there, the money isn't already in the system to say like, you know what I mean? Like people, governments, everything, they don't want to stop free flowing money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're going to get money, and as taxed as alcohol is in Ireland, you're going to get a lot of money from that. You know what I mean? It's one of them things that if, yeah, I'm getting completely off point and sidetracking myself here, to be honest. I believe it would be, if not fully illegal, yeah, probably fully illegal because there's no medical benefit, there's no medicinal benefit to alcohol, realistically, unless you want to use it to sterilize needles.
Because about what 10, 15 years ago, maybe less, like a lot of sponsors were alcohol beverages, like the likes of like say trophies being named after a drink, or even the rugby, like the logos on the pitch sort of thing, and even on like kiss sponsors, there was a lot of that.
Yeah,
That's a lot, like most of it's gone away with, and even things like drinking in the stadium, or maybe something as you can't drink on the street, like all these things have been brought in, and alcohol can be a lethal substance. If you, let's say, if you take a silver bullet, for argument's sake, this shot, and you have
yeah,
10 of them, God almighty, it'd be 100 times worse than taking 10 spliffs.
yeah, probably, yeah. Well, no,
Oh,
depends. Like, are you smoking
I
shit weed?
don't know, I never smoked it, never
um,
done a drug in my life,
oh,
so
there you go. Stay clean. You're like CM Punk. You are straight edge.
I'm probably the wrong person to talk about this. I never done a drug, so I can't comment on like
Well,
how.
no, not really, because the conversation isn't is alcohol a drug. The conversation that you brought up is would alcohol be illegal if it was developed today? I just think it would be illegal. What do you think about it? Do you reckon it'd be illegal or legal or illegal? And it's so hard to make a difference when you're trying to say both of them into a mic.
Like everyone loves an old gargle, and it's like I'm not going to toot around horns here, but me and you are pretty good drinkers. We can handle our drink pretty well. There's other people out
I
there who
definitely
sniff
could
it.
pre-pandemic. Yeah,
Like there's people out there who literally sniff a drink and they're like, "Ugh." They're bleeding on the floor. So,
I don't understand people like that, man.
oh,
Like I know exactly, and I wouldn't mind anyone that's listening to this. Most of these aren't. Well, once again, you know who you are. There's certain ones that just go, oh, Jesus, I'm bleeding, wax bars, I'm fucked. How? How does that happen? Like,
I don't know.
come on, like you're Irish. Get a bit of constitution into you, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
fuck me, like man, I look fair enough if you're down in shots. That's different. Some people have like a can and you're like, your head is gone, mate.
mm.
Like it just I don't understand how that can happen to certain people.
I think
Unless you're like
Because drink is seen as like a socially acceptable thing. If you don't drink, people are like, wait, you don't drink? What the fuck? But
Yeah.
it's the side effects of it. The fact that like if you have, I say majority of people have a certain amount, they're blacked out and do stupid things, and like, I don't know if any drugs make a blackout or anything, but the likes of weed that just gives you
I'd make you black out, yeah.
does it? Yeah.
If you drank and smoked weed together, you'd most likely, like, it depends on how much. Say you're like gargling, I just said, say, or I give you the example of, if you had 10 shots of like 10 silver bullets throughout a night and then had like 2 or 3 blows off a joint, man, for someone that doesn't smoke much weed, they'll probably start getting sick.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's called the going green, like same as me jumper. Go green. But yeah, no, for a fact, man. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. But there's a weird thing about weed, man. And I say this to people all the time, right? If you smoke a joint earlier in the day or before you start drinking or with your first drink, you won't feel that fucked. And the whole thing, you won't be like, not that you won't feel that fucked. Don't false advertise here, but you won't go green. And for the pure fact that this is the way I equate it. Alcohol makes dizzy, weed makes dizzy. But if you have, say, alcohol and weed together, you'll be like really dizzy for a while,
Hmm.
but not the entire time. And then if you just keep drinking, you're fine. Like, do you know what I mean? That's grand. Or if you keep smoking, you should be fresh.
But
But
see,
if you are going through a full night with just drink and then all of a sudden decide I'm going to have like a blow of a split, that's just something completely different to what you already have in your system. You're already kind of on the level of, what would you say? I can't try to think of the right word for it. You're almost like a child in a way where you'll like you'll do things that you see and all. Like, you know what I mean? You're a bit
yeah,
stupid, impressionable, where you're very impressionable in that say. So you've had 10 shots, you have 1 blow, 2 blows, 3 blows, however many it takes, right? It doesn't mix well because it's like adding being really fucking dizzy and then an injection of being dizzy. It's like getting 10 left hooks and then they finish it off at the right. Do you know what I mean? I went very long winded and probably didn't make a lot of sense there to people, but in my head that made sense.
so I was just thinking, like, see, with the drinking limit, they say you can only have like 1 or 2 points, and then I'm assuming after that it starts to affect like your reaction time, how you think, drowsiness, maybe
Yeah,
falling asleep. So I say it's two or I don't know what it is now, a drink or two. It's that for a reason. And
isn't
like,
it?
I'm trying to look it
It's
up here.
two. Is it 2.2 units? See, I don't drive, so I've nothing to worry about. Guess I shouldn't drink and cycle or something, you know? Drink and scoot.
But
Don't
you know what
drink
I
and
mean?
walk.
Like the fact that it's
Drink and
so
sit down.
low, the fact that it's so low, like if you have more than that, it's gonna affect you. That's why, like they're
But
saying, if it was invented now, it would be an illegal substance because how quick it can affect you. It's not gonna affect you big time after having two, but it might be just like your reaction time. It goes from like half a second
drowsiness,
to yeah. So your reaction time
reaction
goes.
time, your drowsiness. There's a lot of different factors that come into it, and as well as the alcohol, man, can make people very aggressive, especially the likes of gin,
Oh,
man. It's called the psycho
100%.
drink for a reason. Like,
Yeah.
that's one of the things I don't understand about alcohol. It's like fair enough, like it's legal. I enjoy it. I'm not saying make it illegal, but like people are kicking the head off each other sometimes on it, like, you know. Oh, you'd be very
100%.
hard pressed to find a group of lads that smoke. Like, look, all right, 5 people in a room, 5 people keep getting hammered. Eventually, there could be a scrap. There's at least a 25% chance there will be a scrap, right? You'd agree with that, would you? About 25%, or am I being a bit too nice about it?
Yeah, I'd say 25. Yeah.
Right, say 25. You get fucking 5 stoners in a room sitting in a circle, right? The chances of a scrap,
Are
they go into the
slim.
negatives. That man, they go into the negatives, man.
Everyone's just so chill.
Man, everyone turns fucking Canadian. Start apologizing to each other over everything. We can touch on the Canadians later on, but I still have a bit more of this gargle to get through. And just so you all know, anyone watching at home will get more of a benefit than anyone listening on Spotify. Not to say don't listen on Spotify, still do, please. But for every topic that we go through, you will see us polish off at least one drink. And if that drink isn't polished and we have a super chat set up, you say it to us and we'll down 2 for the mistake.
Right, here's a little thing that you have I found here. if you have 10 pints of Guinness, Heineken, Carlsberg, or some other lager or stout in around 4.5%, according to DrinkAware, you are not getting a car for 20 hours after you finish your final drink.
20.
Yeah.
20 hours.
Yeah. So
Bro,
basically,
like,
a
are you
full
saying
day.
points? Wait, points, yeah?
Yeah, 10 points. If you have 10 points of Carlsberg, you can't get in the car basically nearly 24 hours after. It's 20 hours. So if you
Fucking hell, man.
if you go to bed at midnight, you can't get back into your car until 8 o'clock the following night.
Man, that's ridiculous. That's
Here.
ridiculous.
One
If you
bottle
get a
of
good
wine.
sleep and all, sleep
Yeah.
it off, have a shower, a few Red Bulls or a few fucking cans of Monster, maybe a joint or something. You should be fine.
Here's here 10 vodkas and Coke. So if you get 10 vodka Cokes, have a guess what the time is for that.
Based off 10 points being 10 points, right, at 4.5% equals 20 hours, yeah?
Yeah.
So we're looking at 10 vodkas at 37.5% to 38%. That's gonna, you're out of commission for about a fucking week or something, right? Or they tell you just don't drive manual.
It says 10 hours.
Right, how the fuck does that?
That does not make sense.
No, it doesn't. Even when you incorporate measure size, who the fuck is doing this? Tony Ulan?
Another one here, a bottle of wine. That's what, anywhere from 4 to what, 20 maybe? I don't know, I don't drink wine, so I'm just guessing.
A bottle of wine. I'm pretty, wine's about what, 15 to 18%. Oh, actually, I couldn't tell you, man. I'm not a wine drinker, to be honest. I don't mind like having a bit of Italian food. Why not have a red wine? You know what I mean? It's a special night or something. Fuck
It says
that.
to stay off the
Rather drink
road for
something that's
8
nice.
hours.
Here, just on the topic of drink, right? Wanted to say this. I think this is pretty cool. I only noticed when I was buying it when I brought them into my house. So I'm drinking Tiger, right? And I never realized this, but Tiger every year donate $1 million at least to the World Wildlife Fund directly for the conservation effort to keep tigers from going extinct. That's pretty fucking cool. I wouldn't want, and see when you hear things like that about like a certain company, it makes you like it's philanthropy basically is the future of marketing, is the way I look at it. Because I see that and go, well, fuck, I love tigers. I'm not a big fan of Frosties, but I love tigers. So like, yeah, for every cent that gets me like locked or gets me drunk, a bit of that, or every euro that gets me drunk, a bit of that is going towards actually fucking keeping tigers alive.
Are you talking about Frosties the drink or Frosties the cereal?
I didn't even know there was a Frosties the drink, so that should answer your question for you. There's a Frosties the drink?
Oh, mate, if you went to the Blacker, you can get 2 Frosties for like 12 or 14.
I was too young. I was too young for that shit, man. I was afraid I'd be stranded in Coolock after a bouncer took the idea off.
I went to the pub beside me for my birthday, and they done Frosties. And I was like, I have to get one. I was like,
really? So just for myself and the people at home as well. What's in a Frosty?
I have to Google it because I'm not exactly sure.
All right, what do you think is in it?
Because
if you get it wrong, the comment section is going to be lit up with all of the Blackers fucking residents sitting there.
No, it's vodka in it.
Yeah, bro. That has to be. It's probably knowing the Blacker. It's probably aftershock and vodka and shit like that. You know what I miss, man? Just while you're looking that up, you're talking about the Blacker. We're talking about Gargle. Cheers, by the way. I miss an actual fucking after session. And by that, I don't mean like, a few people go back from a club and play a few tunes. You know, when it's like 5 a.m, there's only like 3 or 4 years left. You're scuttered. No, I mean, you're scuttered. And there's some fucker at the table bringing up memories that they're only after remembrance and start, repressed memories from like being 4 or 5. You don't know whether it's bollocks or true, but you're not really listening anyway. I miss nights like that, bro, where there's a bit of kitchen talk involved, because you never know what the fuck you're going to hear. There's so much random shit that comes out of people. Like, it's gas. And the best thing about it is, you know for a fact you're not going to have the fear afterwards. No one remembers a fucking thing. Like, it's the best thing in the world. Like, it's kind of, that's where the inspiration for the name of this podcast came from. You know that, don't you?
Yep.
It was down to 2 names: Kitchen Talk and After Sesh. They're kind of like, they're one of the same to me. Well, they used to be anyway. Now all the after sessions take place in this yoke.
That's another thing about drink, like hangover. So the next day you're literally bedbound for nearly the whole day, and like if you go out on a Saturday, Sunday's your recovery time. Touch wood.
Oh man, for
I haven't had many hangovers, but
oh, you're very lucky in that way. It'll be more funny now, I have to say. See, over the next few weeks where we are doing podcast, and me and Aaron were kind of made an agreement now. Like, probably should have said this at the start of the podcast, but for the most part, these are probably going to be going at once every 2 weeks, just because if you really want to get like content that's quality and you want to have people actually want to listen to it, you want to be able to cultivate it. There's only two of us, and we don't have full-time jobs, so it's hard to push out one a week. And we've seen that over the last few weeks where you're sick for 2 days and all of a sudden your schedule's fucked for a week. So we're going to give ourselves a bit of leeway and a bit of breathing space, and we're going to try produce at least one every 2 weeks. And then any time that we do have time to spare, or we have content to spare, or something big happens, or something that needs to be discussed happens, then we will of course produce another episode.
Yeah,
but for the most
over.
part, and we just kind of want, exactly, life does take over. And in fairness, if it didn't, it'd be a bit boring, wouldn't we?
Right, here's what's in a Frosty. Smirnoff Ice, Cola, Piranha.
Smirnoff Ice, Cola and Piranha. That yeah, it doesn't sound like my type of drink.
No, actually,
I'll leave it at that. Oh, I'd say it's nice, bro, but it doesn't sound like the one for me.
Are you finished?
It really doesn't.
Yet?
Why are we changing the topic?
We're gonna end it on a final answer. If alcohol was discovered now, would it be legal or illegal? Final answer.
It would be, in my opinion, illegal.
I'll have to agree with you on that one.
I feel like there's far too many drawbacks to it to get it out there as a proper topic. I don't think it'd get past the testing phase, to be honest.
Oh. Like even the 0% drinks, like they're grand and all, but once you have like 2 or 3, you just taste mank after that.
It's not alcohol. Oh, here. Them 0% drinks have 0.003% alcohol in them. So like if you had like 100 cans, that's like one full unit. So anyone that's drinking them and they're off the gargle, they're not like.
There's a challenge for you. Have 100 non-alcoholics in the night.
And I have a friend that drinks a lot of zeros, man. And we just slag him saying that, like, to him, like, come here, you know, there's still gargle in that, like, there's still alcohol in there, you're drinking that. My joke. But come here, I had one thing to say about people that don't drink alcohol. You were saying earlier on how it's almost like kind of a bit of a, what the fuck, you don't drink, what the fuck, you know, that kind of buzz. I have an opinion on this, right? And I could be right, could be wrong, I'm most likely right. But I prefer people that do like to drink. Not alcoholics, not drunks, but people that like to go out, have a laugh, have a drink. And there's a good reason for that, because those people always have good stories. Would you agree? Even if every story isn't good, they will always have at least one good story. Now, yeah. I'm going to say this to you. You go on a night out, maybe you're talking to a sober fucker. When every story ends with, and then I got home safe, you're not a fun person. Like, what the fuck? Like, there has to be something. There has to be something mad going on. It's not just 12:30. Oh, I got a taxi home. I was in bed and I watched some Netflix. That sounds delightful, man. I rolled around in puddles till 7:30 in the morning. But my night seems more fun. Like.
My last night out there after the Dublin Mail match, I went into town, Temple Bar or wherever, into a place called Bad Bob's. And I was talking to a fella, and he was half Danish, half German, and he's a DJ.
Yeah.
A DJ in Hamburg. Talked to him for about half an hour, and he was pretty gone, but had a good chat with him, good laugh. And he goes, if you're ever in Hamburg, hit me up, and he'll sort me out. So, and I'm going to say this as well.
You can't. My drink's done. I was trying to wave it at you, and you didn't look at the screen. Another new rule of the after sesh, ladies and gentlemen. If a drink is finished before a topic, I'm sorry. We'll have to revisit it another day. I'm sorry, Aaron. I tried to warn you so much. I was there like holding the thing. You can rewatch it. You can watch it back, man. I was nearly hypnotising with you. But unfortunately, that's gargle 1 down and topic 1 over.